Welcome to the Halliwell Manor. I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And we're here to discuss Season 7, Episode 20 of Charmed.
Imaginary Fiends.
Okay. So, just to lead off with this
It's not a good episode.
Oh no, it's awful. But this is they didn't know they were getting another season after this. They thought this was going to be the end of Charmed. We are gearing up to what they believed was going to be the series finale on this show. Why are we having this filler-ass episode at this point? This is when action should be rising. Why haven't we seen Zanku in 2, 3, 4 episodes?
This should be a table-setting episode. We should be seeing, Zanku should be moving pieces into place. Not some random one-off villain that does nothing.
I mean, that's not true. He regurgitates the whole Wyatt becoming evil plot. You know, the plot that was the entire plot of a season. The whole reason Chris came back in time. I just...
Okay, wait. I'm gonna get into this now because I don't really know when I would do it when we're doing the episode.
Okay.
Okay, so Wyatt from the future, happy, well-adjusted Wyatt shows up because of demon interference. He becomes evil. We see future Wyatt become evil. And I just really at some point wanted Piper and Leo to be like, wait, how about if we're just not the worst parents ever? And then see him turn back into regular Wyatt. Because he doesn't turn evil by magic. He turns evil by manipulation.
I mean, he does turn evil by magic.
No, I just rewatched this again this morning. He says it's not from magic. It's from, continuous corruption by a demon. I mean, is corruption by a demon magic?
Well, I assumed it was because he has that whole thing where he needs the teddy bear and
But he doesn't need the teddy bear to cast a spell. He needs the teddy bear because when he takes the teddy bear, that means that Wyatt has crossed the line into trusting him. It's literally this episode is about being... It's kind of weird and it's about being groomed.
Yeah, except... No, there has to be a magic component to it, because otherwise, after evil future Wyatt blows up the demon who corrupted him, wouldn't he just not be evil anymore if the demon wasn't there to corrupt him?
No, because Wyatt kidnaps baby Wyatt, and so...
To raise himself as evil?
It's really a bootstrap paradox if you're going to talk about time travel. But then he stops being evil just by Leo being like, hey, Wyatt, how about if you stop being evil? I mean... I know I just said that's how it should end. That is how it ends!
This episode is so bad.
It's a terrible version of Xander saving the world with the yellow crayon.
Yes, it is exactly that. I guess we should probably start talking about the episode, since we're already talking about the episode, but just... The series finale, as far as you knew, was coming up soon. Why are we doing this? Why are we not dealing with Zanku? It feels like he got name serviced last episode. Amara was, destroying his lieutenants in the mortal world to try to stop him from consolidating power. But he hasn't done anything in forever. Also, since when does he have lieutenants? I mean, I guess he doesn't anymore because Amara killed them.
Right.
But we open with Paige in the attic. She's making a potion which involves explosions, which pisses off Piper because she just got Chris to sleep.
Listen, your child's gonna have to learn to sleep in a house where there are explosions.
Okay, we have this whole thing where it feels like they're backfilling something that should have been in an episode but wasn't, and also makes no fucking sense, because Piper's talking about how she's worried about Wyatt because they just sent him to preschool. And... I'm sorry. Continue. Let me unleash my issues with this after you state yours. Yeah. Okay. So Piper's concerned because they just sent Wyatt off to preschool. And Paige is like, don't you mean magic school? And Piper's like, no, remember we had the whole conversation about sending him to preschool because we want him to have a normal life. what was the fucking point of introducing magic school? The whole thing with magic school is that Wyatt would have a place where he could have, like, peers his age that he didn't have to hide his magic around. And I know Piper was never big on sending him to magic school. She called a bunch of literal children freaks. But all of the issues you had with Wyatt in preschool didn't suddenly stop existing. Why? Nothing is stopping the little dude from orbing home just because he wants to, use the bathroom at home, or any number of magic-related things. Like, this makes no sense.
Okay, I just had a weird realization about Piper.
Yeah?
Piper is the magical equivalent of a trad wife.
Okay.
She's obsessed with having a normal mortal life. And she, like, no, trad wife isn't fair. She's not like that. Okay, so I know this from reading about Marie Antoinette, but it wasn't just...
Oh, the fake garden thing.
The fake garden thing! But it wasn't just her. This was, like, a thing that rich people in France did, and probably in other parts of Europe, too, but specifically I know in France, where she had, like, a little pasture with lambs, and, like, she could grow tomatoes or whatever, and she could play at being a milkmaid.
Yeah, like current country music stars do.
Yeah.
I own a ranch in some place I never visit, but I go there so they can take pictures of me sometimes, and I can talk about it in interviews.
Or like trad wives, where it's like, oh, wasn't it better when we were living off the earth? And I'm thinking of this because of the book that just came out yesteryear about a woman who's a trad wife influencer who actually gets magically well, I don't know if it's magical or not, but she gets teleport. I haven't read it yet. I'm 549th in line at the library for it.
Well, Anne Hathaway bought the movie rights for it, right?
She licensed the movie rights before the book even came out. It's like...
Wow.
Yeah. So...
It's about a trad wife who gets trapped in the past and has to actually live a traditional lifestyle.
Yeah, although... And this is not a spoiler because I haven't read it yet, but I'm suspecting that it's going to be not that she was magically teleported there, but that there was like a nefarious agency that kidnapped her and brought her there. But that's just a random guess. Anyway...
The Village style.
Exactly.
Spoilers for The Village?
It's past the...
And that's not exactly what The Village was, but, I mean, even The Village got, like, it's spoilers for The Village. It turns out that they're not actually back in the past. They're in modern times, but they're all the, like, children and grandchildren of this group of people who decided to reject modernity and, live a pastoral life, and they use the fake monsters in the woods to keep the next generation from leaving the area that they own.
I will say that's also the plot of the far superior Margot Haddock's book, Running Out of Time.
Yeah. But even The Village, which is not a good movie, even they acknowledge, because, like, the movie opens with a child's funeral because they don't have access to outside medication, and all of the, older adults are like, oh, this wouldn't have been a thing if we were just,
Oh, well, the plot of the Margot Haddock's book, which is superior to the movie The Village because it's not a twist at the end, it's the plot of the book.
Yeah.
Is that everybody's getting really sick, and so one of the women, like, tells her daughter, she's like, okay, here's the deal. This is all fake. We're from the quote-unquote future, and you need to sneak out of here and get us some penicillin and come back. And then she, like, sends her out into the modern world.
I mean, that is roughly the plot of The Village.
I haven't watched it. I thought that was the twist at the end, was that they didn't live in the modern world.
Or the past times. That they do.
That they do live in the modern world.
Yeah, you find out, like, more than halfway through, because the character, Bryce Dallas Howard's character, ends up having to go to get medicine for someone else.
Uh-huh. Wow, they really did just rip off that book, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's much less interesting than the story they set up with the monsters. You have to wear red when you're walking through the woods because red scares them off, and it's like a Little Red Riding Hood thing.
Yeah. Ooh, like Hannah with the fairy tale motifs.
Yeah, and it's always fun when stuff does that.
Yes, I do love that. I'm sorry, I'm so off track. Let me bring us back to what I was saying, which is that Piper fetishizes being a normal mortal. So even when she sends her kids to magic school, she's like, You know what? No, I want him to be normal. I'm going to send him to preschool. Like, I just want to be a normal person. But it's like, Piper, there's nothing for you there. It's not inherently superior because it's not magical.
But it's also clearly a, like, cosplaying thing for her because she's not binding Wyatt's powers.
Yes!
Like,
so it's basically exactly a trad wife.
Yeah, it's the Marie Antoinette thing. It's the French nobility who like to pretend to be farmers. But, obviously you're not going to commit to that just because you think it's fun to pretend sometimes.
Yeah, and I honestly, I have way more sympathy for Marie Antoinette than trad wives because she did know she was just playing.
Yeah.
Okay, no, here's my issue with... But that's your issue with it. Let me tell you my issue with it.
Is it that Paige, for some reason, doesn't know about this, even though apparently they talked about... Also, isn't it like mid-year? Also, it seems like Wyatt has been going to this preschool for a while.
A few weeks, at least?
Yeah.
Okay, Piper, you said this a little bit, but Piper comes in and she says, that Wyatt's at preschool, and Paige says, you mean magic school? She goes, no, preschool, I told you this. She says, you told me this? And goes, yes. And then you said, and then I said, and then you said, and then I said, and it's like, Paige forgot this whole ass conversation, and also this is the episode after Phoebe was replaced by a demon. Why are we not concerned with Paige forgetting this whole ass conversation?
Also, this is just terrible writing because
as
you know, it is a whole conversation that is just the conversation.
And what's really weird is there's no reason for it. Like, Piper could have come in and said that Wyatt was at preschool, and Paige could have just said something like, I still don't think you should have taken him out of magic school. There, the end.
Yeah.
You don't have to invent brain damage for Paige.
Also, when Piper's like, you were all blah, 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 what if he uses magic in public? And Paige is like, yeah, what if he uses magic in public? And Piper just responds, I want him to have a normal life. That's not an answer to... That's a legitimate concern.
Do you think he's going to have a normal life if he brings Inspector Sheridan to your door? But...
So...
all that aside...
Also, the reason Paige is frazzled is because there's been a sharp uptick in demon attacks since Wyatt started going to preschool. That's so weird. It feels like every time the phone rings from preschool, it's...
Well, they don't realize yet that it's the preschool calling. They realize by the end of the scene. But I kind of love this. Paige has all of the phones in the house up in the attic, and she's trying to, like, bind the phones because she's realized that every time the phone rings, a demon pops in and attacks.
Speaking of, a demon pops in and attacks, and the demon looks like a 90s cool dude. He's wearing a leather jacket, he's got sunglasses, his hair's all gelled.
Okay, so knowing what we know now...
Yeah. And
again, I'm giving away the end of the episode to talk about this, but these aren't really demons.
No.
These are witches, although all male witch is weird. I guess this is a Lost Boys situation where girls don't fall out of their prams.
I think there's probably some girls in the back. Well,
oh, you're right. When they all shimmer in, there are some girls in the background.
But they're mostly sending dudes after. I think they know the Charmed One's deal. He's just sending his dude recruits after them.
They should have done like a Peter Pan thing with this.
They really should have. It seems like the direction to go.
But
also, a disproportionate amount of these kids, adults, but kids, are blonde, and I feel like there's a whole psychology there that I don't want to get into.
But the point is, these are witches who were corrupted as children by this particular demon, because that's what he does. He corrupts young witches and makes them evil. Man, seems like it would be a good idea to have your young witch in a magic school then.
Yeah, a magic school that's specifically protected against this sort of thing.
Right. And I assume that there's some sort of immortality that they get when they become... when they turn to the dark side and start working for this demon, specifically because I feel like we're supposed to understand that this guy is from the 50s, that he is a child who in the 50s was corrupted by this guy, and now he's just an evil witch greaser guy.
Oh, I feel like he's a 90s cool guy, so.
Oh, well, okay, so.
But yeah, the very cool demon bamfs into the room and attacks. Paige throws a vanquishing potion at him, which he casually shrugs off, and then Piper blows him up. Which, embarrassing for Paige. I mean, I know Piper's the tank and her power is, show-breakingly powerful, but it is embarrassing that a vanquishing potion didn't work and explosions did.
Oh, no, here's why it's actually a very cool thing.
Yeah?
One of the things they haven't figured out what's going on yet, because it's weird that it's not one type of demon that's attacking. It's people with vastly different types of powers. So the vanquishing potion didn't work because the person who attacked right before this was a completely different type of person than this one. Like, it's showing that Paige hasn't figured out what's going on yet, so the potion she brewed didn't work. It's actually a clever storytelling element.
Okay, so this episode also has 1 million hours of opening credits over this weird downer song.
It's Sarah McLachlan.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like, oh, save all of these animals, by which I mean young witches who are being corrupted.
It goes on for half past forever. So, Piper gets off the phone, and it's Wyatt's preschool, and she says, I wonder what they wanted. Wouldn't you know what they wanted? Like, she said we'll talk more about that later, and then she says, I wonder what they wanted.
Okay, so Paige brings it up and says, like, so I guess he's not socializing and he's just talking to himself. And Piper says, how did you know that? She says, I heard the message. So this is like a weird writing error where it should have, in like one draft, it was an answering machine message that Paige overheard. Mm-hmm. And in another draft, we have Piper actually talking to the preschool. And then when Leo goes to pick him up, the person says, I told you that you didn't need to, I said in the message you didn't need to come get him.
Yeah, the writing in this episode is
weak.
Really bad. Yes, incredibly weak. Phoebe enters the attic wearing, it's like a sailor, it's a sexy sailor clown outfit. It's this like blue pinstriped shirt that shows off a ton of cleavage and has these white puffballs coming off it.
Okay, so it connects right beneath the cleavage, but then is open below that so that you can see her belly button. But there's a giant white poof ball right where the closure is. And look, you're talking about how ridiculous this outfit is, but I don't think you're considering how much more ridiculous it's going to be later in the episode when she puts a 3/4 leg sleeve baby blue blazer over the top of it that doesn't match anything.
What is going on with this outfit?
I mean, I don't think it's fair to... honestly, it looks like a loofah stuck between her boobs.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I'm imagining, because they're going to summon Wyatt from the future soon, and I'm imagining him seeing them and being like, wow, 90s were a weird time for fashion, huh? Oh.
So Phoebe enters the attic in this ridiculous outfit, and she asks what's going on, and Paige explains that Wyatt has been isolating himself at the school, and he's only talking to himself, and, blah, 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 blah. And Phoebe's like, well, as a future psychiatrist, Paige's theory is that he's creating the demons at home. So... Question mark.
Oh, no. Okay, Phoebe doesn't think it's magical. Phoebe thinks it's...
No, Paige.
Oh, right, Paige thinks it's magical, yeah.
Paige thinks that the demon attacks are Wyatt creating demons.
Yeah, because he made the dragons.
Yeah.
And then Piper gets all mad at her, like, you can't blame him for everything. It's like, we're not blaming him, he's a 2-year-old.
She also points out it was only one dragon.
Oh, okay then.
And... also, this isn't the first... I mean, granted, he was a baby, but he's created demons before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even recently, he created that when he was... He subconsciously created that evil clone of Leo a little while back, too.
Yeah, he did.
Like, this is not a new thing for Wyatt to be doing. It's not Wyatt, technically.
Yeah.
But...
No, that's not Wyatt at all. Not even technically.
Yeah.
It's people trying to manipulate Wyatt. Phoebe, though, because she has taken 3 weeks of psych, thinks that there's a psychological answer for this. And she throws out psych terms that mean nothing, including at one point she talks about Freud, and it's like...
Freud is widely discredited.
Nobody would talk about Freud in your psych class. And, okay.
I mean, Freud is great for writing.
Yeah, as a literature major, I studied Freud in my critical theory class. I did not study Freud in any psych classes. Okay.
I do, much like with her empathy, I do enjoy how much everyone is already fed up with Phoebe's new thing, in this case, being a psychiatrist, a future psychiatrist, Britta style.
Yeah, a psychologist. I will say her professor is so nasty to her in a way that I will talk about in a minute. But if she keeps trying to bring up Freud in class, maybe she's justified.
Yeah, when we were watching the episode, I fell on I feel like we fell on two different areas with the professor. Because yes, the professor is mean to Phoebe, but Phoebe also feels like she's being very annoying in class. We don't see her in class, but...
Well, I believe that Phoebe is what... in law school, and I think they have this in medical school too, we would call a gunner. Mm. Which is somebody who, is always got their hand up and is always like, ooh, 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 a gunner. They're annoying. We don't like them.
Well, to quote I feel like underrated show Digman. I liked it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. It's Andy Samberg's animated archaeologist show where he's just doing a Nick Cage impression. I watched the entire show and did not clock it. I showed it to you and you immediately clocked it, and then I couldn't unhear it. But when he meets his assistant in his class where she's like, hey, professor, it's me, that student you hate. That has to be...
Yes. I'm actually really excited to talk about the teacher, though, because I also hate her. All right, anyway.
Yeah, Phoebe is going to talk to her teacher about Wyatt because maybe she can find out the... psychological reason why Wyatt's not talking to other... He's 2 and he just joined a new school.
I know. Everybody's being a little extra.
Maybe he's not talking to anyone because of the horrible font choice on the preschool sign.
Oh. I've seen worse.
Yeah, it's not Comic Sans or anything. But...
my real problem with the preschool is that it's got pillars. Obviously, this is a classroom set that they tried to turn into a preschool by putting up one sign.
This establishing shot makes it look like it's just a fancy apartment to me that they kind of slap that sign up there. But yes, Wyatt is in preschool. Leo is coming to check on him because Leo is both a stay-at-home dad and running magic school currently. Leo is doing so much stuff.
Yeah, I know.
The teacher's surprised to see him. She's like, I said it wasn't a big deal and we can just talk later. And Leo's like, but you said it was an emergency. And I said, no, he's talking to himself. The only reason I brought it up is because your wife told me to call in with updates on Wyatt, which, thank you for doing that. It's not like I have a bunch of other children I need to look after.
Right.
But the only reason I called is because Piper asked me to call, which is why it's weird that they were worried about me calling. Seriously, is this all first draft? This feels so over the...
And then Leah's like, we just worry about him because he has special needs. And she's like, nobody shared the IEP with me. Do we need to have a meeting about that? And he's like, no, I just mean he's special and gifted. And she's like, oh, okay.
She says first child, and he's like, is it that obvious? But normally when someone says that, you don't have a second child.
Wait, what?
Normally when someone's like, oh, is it your first kid, when you're doing that sort of thing, you don't also have another kid.
Oh! I'm sorry, my brain didn't even register that! Yeah, it's like only child, but he's not! Oh my god, poor Chris! Yeah. Poor Chris! My brain didn't even clock that Chris still exists! Oh! See, Chris is the... Okay, in this new future, Chris is the one who turns evil, but
No
nobody
one
cares
knows.
because he doesn't have that much power. Nobody comes back to do anything about it. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I totally forgot about Chris! Oh.
So she points to Wyatt, who's, talking to nobody, and Leo's like, how long has he been doing that? And she says, on and off since he started coming here. It's been like a week, right? Like
We have no idea.
It feels like this is a recent thing. But the teacher points out, like, he's playing by himself. Lots of kids do that. He's 2. It's not that big of a deal. But we go to Wyatt, who is talking to a man that no one else can see. So that does feel like kind of a big deal. It also looks like most of the other kids are playing by themselves here. I mean, they're sitting around a table or whatever, but...
I mean, they're small children. Like, at this point, we're excited if we see Parallel play.
Yeah.
I will say the demon looks like a very creepy Sean Penn.
Okay, I totally thought this guy looks like dollar store Breckin Meyer, which
I
is...
can see that too. Yeah, like Breckin Meyer and Sean Penn
Yeah.
combined, which is, oh god, nobody wants that.
So Leo's like, should I take him home? And the teacher's like,
No.
And then Leo just goes over, picks him up, and takes him home, which...
Teachers love that when you disrupt kids' days and their ability to,
Yeah, he's not going to start socializing with the other kids if you're constantly going in there and picking him up and carrying him away.
Okay.
So the demon blorps back to the lair, to,
Yeah, the demon lair.
the demon lair, and he's like, curses, Leo came as soon as I was reaching some progress. And his assistant guy is like, a lot of us have been dying just to distract the charmed ones.
He's like, can we maybe not go after the charmed one's child who's even more powerful than the charmed ones, please? Like...
Also, I mean, not really the point, but why are they attacking to distract the charmed ones from his... Like, that doesn't make sense. Like...
Yeah, if anything, it's alerting them that there's an issue.
Yeah, the only reason they think something's up is because demon attacks have suddenly, started happening more. But the guy points out, which, is a solid point, the demon who's corrupting Wyatt points out, look, this kid is basically omnipotent. So if we want there to be a future for demons, period, then... we need to turn him to the side of darkness.
All right, I guess that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But also, seriously.
So, at what appears, it's not, but it looks enough like the kindergarten that I'm like, did they just change a few things around to make this college?
Right?
Like, the building that the teacher walks out of has the same pillars.
I seriously suspect that in actuality, this is the backside of the same building.
Yeah.
Okay. So Phoebe corners her professor, and her professor's like, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to listen to your stupid paper topics. And she's like, no, I need your help with my nephew. He's 2 years old and he talks to himself.
And he won't play with the other kids, and he has an imaginary friend. And the professor's like, well, we usually see that a little later, but it's not super unusual. And, kids create imaginary friends for a lot of reasons. So have you considered shutting up and not bothering me about this?
Okay, so then she gets really mad at Phoebe. Because the thing that they were studying last week in class, Phoebe wrote about in her column. And listen, Missy, I worked hard to learn psychology, and I don't appreciate you taking my class just to enhance your own knowledge for your profession.
Yeah, it's weird. What she specifically asked for, she's like, I want you to give me credit on your next article, since you're clearly just taking my class, so that you can use it for your column, which, I mean, yeah.
I guess it depends, right? Like, is she quoting things that the professor said, or is she talking about the things the professor taught her?
Yeah, honestly, depending on if we saw how it was being used, I might think the professor has a point. Like, if she's just talking about stuff she's learning in psych class, whatever. But if she's pulling specifics from a lecture,
I mean, but she's not, it doesn't sound to me, at least, like she's pulling the professor's insights. Just the knowledge that, like, she's getting from the class.
Again, we can't really say because for some reason we never see any of Phoebe's articles, so...
But also, what do you think people are taking the class? Like...
You're mad that one of your students is applying knowledge that she learned in your class.
How dare you take my class just to gain the knowledge and use it in commerce? You should take my class just for the love of learning, and then the only proper step from that point is to become a professor yourself and pass it down to other people whose only purpose in learning it is to pass it down to other people. Honestly, this is the pyramid scheme that is academia. But psych is one of the few majors where there are things to do other than academia. Like, I remember my literature professor, because that's what I majored in college, being like, oh, don't become a literature professor. I feel like that's all we do. We teach literature to people to train them up to be more literature professors so they can train people to be more... The thing I just said, jokingly, sarcastically, but seriously.
So, Phoebe is shocked and dismayed to find someone who isn't, tripping over themselves to help her out because they love her so much because she's so amazing and brilliant and insightful and so on and so forth.
Well, remember, she poached that column once, and Elise was like, oh my god, I love you. Please come be the most important person at the paper.
Yeah, she is not someone who really
has faced hardship.
Well, I was going to say experiences negative feedback ever.
Right.
I mean, she threw a whole temper tantrum at the idea of someone editing her column.
Oh my god.
Which, if you're published, no matter how brilliant you are, someone is going to have to edit your stuff at some point.
Honestly, it's offensive to act like you don't need an editor.
So, Piper and Leo are having a conversation about what a stupid idea it was to put Wyatt in a regular school. And Leo's like, maybe it was a bad idea, maybe,
Okay, because we didn't see the conversation.
Yeah.
I think Piper's gaslighting him because she's like, you thought it was a good idea. I'm like, I bet you he did not think it was a good idea. I bet you just steamrolled him.
And she just starts talking about the normal life thing. You know where he would have a more normal life? Around other kids who also have abilities so he can relate to them on a, like, it's going to be hard for him to form social bonds with other kids if he has to keep this giant secret about himself from a very young age. That's the sort of thing that might mess you up, Piper.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like being a queer kid, and then when you find another group of queer people, you're like, oh, this is how it felt for other people growing up, to, like, be around your people.
So, Paige orbs in, and she's holding a allegedly Maori, although I don't know, mask in front of her face, and she's like, I like the Maori people, but I'd be okay. Maori people, but I'd be okay if I never saw them again, because why are they making me white lighter all over the world? And Leo's like, Paige, we don't have time to talk about you. You had a whole subplot last episode. We're done with you for the rest of the season.
What's funny to me is, and she was complaining before that her white lighters, that her charge is all the way out in New Zealand. And normally, that would in fact be an issue. That's a long commute. If you can't orb in an instant wherever you want to go, distance means nothing to you, Paige.
There's functionally no difference. It doesn't come up here, but Paige, and no one comments on it, but Paige has unlocked the white lighter language thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like someone should at least mention, because it is a neat thing that she can do now. She has that white lighter thing where they can speak all languages. Mm-hmm. Boy, she never gets another witch power ever again, does she?
I'm telling you, this is the elders trying to break up the power of 3 by making her into a white lighter.
Also, personally, I would have prioritized healing over the language thing if I was acquiring white lighter abilities in my job as a white lighter, but... Yeah. I mean, I guess you do kind of need the language thing, but arguably you really need the healing thing. Cause
It's like your main part. It's the main part of your job.
Yeah. So, Paige...
Man, I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on this. Imagine being the witch who has Paige for a white lighter, and you're like, "Oh, I'm hurt. I better call my white lighter." And Paige is like, "Sorry, it's my first day."
Here's the number for 911, and then they're like, "This is New Zealand. That's not our emergency services number."
What is theirs? I know England is 999.
I think it's 111, but I'm not 100%.
Interesting.
It might be 000. I read a thing in a... Do you remember those books that were really popular, the worst case emergency?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, Blast from the Past.
Yeah, I had one of those, and it had the different emergency numbers for different countries in it. Those, I don't know how useful those would have ever been in an actual emergency, but...
I know, right? Okay, I just Googled it. It is 111.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say fewer people were saved. This is just me talking out of my ass. But I'm going to say fewer people were saved by that book than by the television show The Office.
Because of the staying alive thing.
We know that multiple people have been saved by that scene in The Office where they learn that you do compressions to the beat of Staying Alive.
Yeah. I also had a joke version of it called The Best Case Scenario Handbook. And there's stuff like what to do if you see an ATM explode.
That's funny. That's cute. Yeah. Also, you can do compressions to the beat of Baby Shark. It's the same. It's the same tempo.
Baby Shark do 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 do. Baby Shark do 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 do.
Also, you need to do chest compressions harder than you think you do.
Yeah, we talked about this in the recent episode where Paige was stuck in the elevator with the guy who got electrocuted.
And she was like barely touching it.
Hey, that would have been a good time for heal to know how to heal.
Wait. The chest compressions worked even though we pointed out that she was barely doing them. No. Maybe that was some healing, like, starting to manifest.
Possible.
You sound doubtful.
Well, I think she was actually instructing a guy how to do it.
Oh, you're right, she was.
Anyway, Paige has realized that all of the demons who have been attacking them have been attacking using good magic powers, which the guy was attacking you with, like, an energy ball. That doesn't...
Yeah, but it was a blue energy ball and not a red energy ball.
But yes, the people who have been attacking with good powers, which means they're probably not demons. And,
which leads Paige to emphasize, this is definitely probably Wyatt creating them.
Yeah. Also, someone has spread green paint all over the back of Paige's back.
We talked about that last week. I'm pretty sure that's poorly covering up a tattoo. Although I feel like even in SD, I would see that.
Yeah. It is not subtle.
So, Piper decides she's going to write a spell that will let her talk to Wyatt and figure out what's going on. And then we go to Wyatt's room where we see that the demon is there talking to him. And I'm just going to be honest, that confuses me because I thought the whole point was that he could get to him when he was at preschool and that was less of a risk than going to the manor. But now he's like, fuck it. Yeah. Throwing caution. I guess that's not that confusing that he's throwing caution to the wind.
Especially if Leo's pulling him out of
preschool.
Yeah, all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So, Chris is also in the room. Leo is checking on Chris.
And Chris.
Leo is checking on Chris while the demon is having this whole conversation with Wyatt where he's like, Wyatt, you trust me, right? I'm your pal. You need to give me that teddy bear, Wyatt. Give it to me, and the ritual will be complete.
Alright, down in the solarium where Piper is writing the spell, Paige is like, what about personal gain?
And
okay.
Piper's like, I'm doing it for Wyatt. That makes it not personal gain.
But it does. She's right.
I mean...
Is Wyatt not an innocent?
If we're not applying... If we're applying that logic, then they should definitely be using their powers more than they do.
Well, okay, so...
Although, I mean, in the early seasons they did, like that thing where Phoebe cast that spell to help that old couple win the lottery, and then she cast it on herself because she's like, half of $23 million is enough for them. I could also win, and it just disappeared for her, but they got to keep the money.
Yeah, okay, but...
That's season 1. I shouldn't be bringing up season 1 stuff anymore.
Right. Okay, but also, so... Paige is arguing that this is personal gain, right? Because presumably Wyatt is now, like, in the sphere of charmed ones. So doing it for Wyatt is for personal gain. But in all of the episodes where charmed ones have, like, fallen in love with innocence, that should mean that they're no longer allowed to save them. Because they're, like, in their sphere, and now it's personal gain. So, I mean, and that is an issue, right, with
I mean, it's never been consistently, but the thing is that feels like it has happened
You're
before.
right, it has happened. I'm just hammering this because I hate the personal gain rules.
Yeah, so...
And I do want to point out that the fact that she casts the spell and what happens is future Wyatt shows up is because the spell backfired.
Although, this actually helps them resolve the whole... Like, they wouldn't have realized the whole demon corrupting Wyatt thing.
Well, that's why the script has Paige, or has Wyatt quote the thing that presumably future Paige will say, which is that magic doesn't always work the way you expect it to, but it does always, like, work.
Yeah, magic always has a reason for doing the things it does.
Yes.
So, yeah, Piper casts the spell to let her communicate with Wyatt, and blorp, here is future Wyatt, who... I don't want to be mean, but they really couldn't find a better actor than this guy.
They had to use the same one that they used before.
They couldn't find a better actor then. Why do they keep making him do accents? He's so bad at them.
Also, why do they have him do accents? He's American. He was born in San Francisco.
Okay, but only... Well, we'll get into it. But remember, he is the true king of England, so...
Also, someone on the Charmed Wiki did the math. This Wyatt must have come from the year 2026.
Yeah, he says he is 25 years old.
Wait, I'm sorry. 2028, I think they said, yeah.
Yeah, because he's 25 years old.
Yep.
So, it's adult Wyatt, and you can tell he's good because he's clean-shaven, and he has, like, boy
beige
band
clothes.
hair. Oh, yeah.
That too. He does, he has curtain bangs. I know I just said he would be joking about 90s style fashion, but... He has some 90s ass hair.
It's weird that he's blonde. I guess Leo's kind of blonde.
Leo's definitely blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird they made such a big deal out of the baby being born brunette when the baby was first born, and then they exclusively got blonde kids. And
because it's usually the other way around.
Yeah. But
this kid looks enough like Leo. Like, I believe that this person is related to Leo.
Yeah, you know what? He does look enough like, the future child of... I mean, more than Chris. He does look like Holly Marie Combs and Brian Krause's future kid.
Well, as I've said many, many times, there is absolutely zero chance that I believe that they had that plan when they started the Chris story.
Yeah.
So they were not casting for people who look like the Charmed ones.
Yeah, you know what? The casting's actually probably pretty good, and I don't want to lay it on the feet of the actor because I think I actually get what they're doing here, which is that they're having him be all, like, chipper and stuff, so it'll contrast more sharply with him when he becomes evil later in the episode.
Yeah, it's not really fair to the actor to be like, what is this cartoonish thing he's doing? Because he's on Charmed. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, like, he's being cartoonish. Oh, it's so great to see you, and, like, you know, this is the house that I grew up in, and gee golly whiz, it's so great to be here.
I will say, Piper's like, how did you become such an optimist? He's like, I got it from you, Mom.
Okay.
All right, this is a demon.
Yeah.
Someone has replaced this person.
I'm honestly surprised more demons haven't tried the I'm X from the future thing.
Right?
I mean, if you're infiltrating, it feels... Phoebe comes in and is immediately the dumbest person on Earth.
She can't figure out how to talk about adult Wyatt and baby Wyatt at the same time without it mixing things up.
Yeah, she's like, I talked to my professor about Wyatt. Not you, Wyatt, the baby Wyatt. Oh no, this is so confusing. How is it confusing, Phoebe?
You didn't even need to clarify. We understand which Wyatt is having imaginary friend issues and which one is a spell backfire from the future. Like,
they ask him about it. They're like, so what was going on when you were 2 that you were talking to imaginary friends? And he's like, I don't know. I was fucking 2. Yep. Except more chipper and upbeat.
I was fucking 2!
Yeah, gee whiz! Also, he immediately hugs Phoebe when she walks into the room, which is not... Don't do that. You know she doesn't know who you are.
I mean, I'm just going to headcanon that Phoebe in the future is dead. And he's like, oh my god, Aunt Phoebe!
Well,
And he's just so overcome he can't help himself.
okay, so 2 things. First of all, we know that she's alive in the future because we know Phoebe canonically dies when she calls her future self back in time to tell her whether or not she should marry Cole, and she gets killed trying to save Cole's life.
Oh god.
So we know that's how Phoebe dies. But
Maybe she just didn't age well.
yeah, you think?
And that was from like a year ago from Wyatt's point of view.
But she also is like, so do you have any like nieces or nephews in the future? Like, third thing.
Any cousins?
Yeah, any cousins. And he's like, oh, Phoebe. You just got off the baby train. You have the psychiatrist.
Oh, that's so funny that was your Phoebe. Because mine was like, stop asking questions about the future. Come on, this isn't your first day.
Okay, Wyatt has no chill about dropping future information. Like,
he's like Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, just showing up and telling everybody what their future is. But honestly, that's why Trunks is one of my favorite characters. I'd be like, fuck it, let's change the timeline.
I mean, I think he's more Rachel Summers, whose whole thing is, I want to change my timeline so aggressively. Yeah. But, I mean, Trunks and Rachel Summers are effectively the same character, so... Mm-hmm. They came back in time to stop robots from destroying the world. So, future Wyatt runs into Leo and baby Chris... And Leo is flipping the fuck out, which I guess makes sense because he, had his whole Dark Leo plotline when he was trying to stop Wyatt from becoming evil in the future. And, like, he had to fight evil future...
Okay, look.
He had to fight evil future Wyatt when he was dealing with Barbas, so...
This is just another reason why this episode is bad. We've already done this.
We did this for a whole season.
Like, we don't need like a little miniature rehashing of this plot. And the whole thing with like Wyatt being groomed to turn evil in the future. We did that with Gideon. We don't need to do that with some random demon no one's heard of.
Well, we did it with a bunch of demons that season because they were hunting down all of the demons that might turn Wyatt evil in the future.
How'd they miss this guy? It's literally his deal!
Yeah, I was going to save that for when it comes up in the episode, but they find this guy's entry, the demon that they're dealing with this week's entry in the book, where they talk about how there's a demon whose entire purpose is finding good magic children and influencing them to evil. Why was this not the first guy you vanquished when you were looking for demons to kill who might turn Wyatt evil in the future? But, yeah. Future Wyatt tells Leo that he's like, wow, you aged really well. And, hey, look, it's Chris when he was a baby. I'm going to wail on him. It's so much easier. I'm sorry. It's slightly easier to wail on him as a baby.
Oh! And then he's like, has he swallowed that marble yet? That's a weird thing.
Yeah, and Piper's like, what marble? And why Future Wyatt's like, don't worry about it. And Piper's like, no, seriously, what?
It must have been a really big deal for him to remember it that distinctly.
Yeah. Also, I feel like that would be less of a big deal in a house with someone who can orb objects.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you should have choking hazards around or whatever.
Well, I'm sorry. I was going to make a weird assumption that it was a magnetized marble, which, like, swallowing a magnet is a huge deal that you might need to go to the emergency room for. Yeah. I was like, maybe that's why he remembers it. But yeah, you're right. Paige could have just orbed it out of him. All right. And then they would have brought him to magic school and had someone magically heal him. So, never mind.
So, Wyatt goes upstairs to hang out with his past self, and he immediately sees the demon who's talking to present day Wyatt. Yeah. See, Phoebe, look how easy that is. But yeah, because the demon has shielded himself from everyone except Wyatt, and I'm like, okay, that's fun. That's fun. That Future Wyatt. Because Future Wyatt walks in the room and he's like, hey guys, there's a dude in a leather jacket here talking to past me, and the demon's like, oh, I should probably head out. He does... Okay. His teleport is weird.
Okay. His teleport is... This is another reason that they should have done some sort of fairy tale thing. Because he teleports out like the Cheshire Cat. His body first, then his head, then his eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just another instance of the script not being fully fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
Future Wyatt says this guy looks familiar, which means that we're still in the prime timeline. This demon tried and failed to corrupt Wyatt.
Yes.
So what is different now that he's going to succeed?
Well, nothing, because of what happens at the end of the episode.
But then he should be good Wyatt all the way through. Oh, time travel.
Yeah. Especially, again, Charmed does not have branching timelines, as we discussed many, 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 many times during the Chris stuff.
Yeah.
So, like the whole spider demon thing, where Chris got infected by the spider demon, and they ended up curing him by having Piper, who was pregnant with him, drinking the anti-spider potion, which cured him, even though it meant that should mean that he never got spidered.
So, in the time travel romance book that I just read,
Yes.
the character who goes back in time is trying to stop her mother from dying.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole discussion about how time travel works, because the poet that she meets up with doesn't want the future to change because he wants to be a famous poet.
Yes.
And she does want the future to change because she wants to save her mom. She ends up saving her mom, but then he's still a famous poet, even though he's fucked up a lot of stuff. And when she goes back to her present, it's like, oh, yeah, it's branching timelines. Your mom's alive in that timeline you just left, but she's still dead here.
Mm.
Which is honestly spoilers for a book that I haven't named and you're probably not going to read. But that's one of the reasons that she decides to stay in the other timeline.
Yeah.
That and that she fell in love with the poet.
But no, Charmed, one timeline. It's just this universe and the cowboy universe.
Honestly, though, like, Back to the Future fixed it. The time travel in Back to the Future is perfect, and other people should adopt it. Branching timelines, my friend.
But they didn't do branching timelines.
They do branching timelines.
Oh, is this in the sequels?
Have you not seen the sequels to Back to the Future? Have you only seen the first one?
Yeah, I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, Doc even, draws them on a chalkboard.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Because, wait, then why was he disappearing at all in the first one?
Great question. I'm going to have to work it out. I'm going to have to work that out later. Let's talk about this episode now. I'm going to work out Back to the Future later.
Yeah, so Future Wyatt points out to everyone who runs into the room, that there was a demon in the room, and he was trying to, he was talking to Wyatt. The demon is there, and he's like, I was so close to getting that fucking bear, but then another witch came in and he saw me. How is that possible? And his minion guy's like, well, I don't think it particularly matters. I think we should probably just throw in the towel on this one.
This is like Heat, right? As soon as they catch on, you gotta walk away from the job.
And this demon's like, the main demon guy's like, no, he knew me. And his name was Wyatt, too. He must be Future Wyatt. There's an opportunity here. And the minion guy's like, it really doesn't feel like there is.
Okay, so it's funny that you say that and that we've just talked about Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, the opportunity is that, you have a barometer letting you know how you did.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about how if you should always have on your person at all times a photograph of yourself and your siblings and a note from your partner so that you can monitor the fading of it and figure out what you're doing.
Well, the minion guy's like, isn't it worse if they have an omnipotent adult version of the kid you're trying to corrupt in our current timeline who can just blow us up by thinking about it really hard? And the demon's like, no, this is good because, as you said, we now have a barometer as to what his future morality is going to be. That doesn't functionally change.
Come to think of it, this is on Wyatt, good Wyatt, right now for not just blowing this guy up.
Yeah. You see a guy in a leather coat talking to your past self, you just blow him up immediately. This is Charmed.
Always be exploding.
Yeah.
I know your thing is always be orbing, but...
But yeah.
Always be blasting. OBB.
The minion guy says, clearly this means you weren't able to infect Wyatt.
That's what I just said!
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think that does mean that it's a mystic seed of evil or whatever that's implanted.
Alright, we'll see. We'll talk about it. We're talking about it more than the writers did, so...
Yeah, the demon tells him to gather the collective that we need to attack now.
I like that he said it that way, because that makes him feel, to me at least, like more of a cult leader than a demon.
Yeah.
He's like, we're a commune, and I'm just the leader of the commune.
He says, as soon as I have that bear, then I'll be able to turn him and the future will be ours. And...
But getting the bear from him is about getting him to trust him. That's what Leo discovers at the end of the episode.
I think it's a magic thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Now, Wyatt says, okay, back at the manor, they're upstairs checking the book, and Wyatt's like, it didn't seem like a demon. He was being nice and charming. And it's like, Wyatt, are you familiar with, like, how manipulation works? Is this your first day on this? Well, I guess it is. It's pretty close to, okay, never mind. You know how when you travel back in time, if you're before when you were born, you don't have your powers? I guess you also don't know things like how humans work.
So, Future Wyatt's like, you guys need to chill. I'm here and I'm good and I'm happy. So clearly we don't have to worry about this demon who's whispering into past Wyatt's ear. They have him flip through the book to try to find the demon, and he finds him immediately. It's Vicus.
Vicus. Yeah.
Vicus. But, yeah. They read his whole thing. His whole thing is finding good aligned magic children and corrupting them and making them into his magic evil servants. 2 of them orb in to attack. One of them is a girl she's wearing sunglasses, and she's got this, like, these golden orbs that explode after she throws them, and there's a dude who has an energy whip.
Yeah, you're right. There are. He did recruit women as well.
I think that he was probably just sending dudes up to this point. But it really feels like the Elder should have been
on this? Yeah. Look at all of the witches that have been corrupted by this guy. We have an entry about him in the book. I mean, this guy should have been a priority. I know there's a lot of stuff happening, but this really should have been a priority.
Leo hears explosions happening in the attic. He puts baby Chris in the pack and play, tells Wyatt, who is sitting in a high chair, just to wait for him to come back. What are you going to do in this situation, Leo? Stay with the fucking kids.
You know that there's a demon trying to get to Wyatt. Why are you leaving Wyatt alone? And then the demon shows up and is like, oh, your dad left. I'll never leave you. And I'm like, you know what? He's got a point.
The demon does also kind of look like Steven Weber.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Do all those guys just look the same? Is that just a 90s thing?
It might be. Just...
He's like, I'll never leave you. Give me the teddy bear. And, like you said, up in the attic, the charmed ones are fighting the corrupted witches. And I will point out, the energy whip is blue. That's how you know it's a good energy whip.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, the charmed ones are having a rough time with
3 children.
3, yeah.
I mean, that's not fair.
They're former children.
They're 3 former children. You can't even take out these former children. They were once babies. How embarrassing is that you can't take out a former baby?
So Wyatt comes up, and this is supposed to be a big display of power thing, but God, he does not have the commanding presence. He goes, "Leave my family alone," and then in this weird highfalutin voice, it does not read threatening at all, even though he sends a massive wave of golden hellfire to burn all of these, brainwashed children to death.
Brainwashed former children.
Brainwashed former children to death. Yeah.
He explodes them all.
Yeah, he atomizes them.
I mean,
the line read isn't great, but I do like the golden fire turning them to ash thing. It does really read godhood.
Yeah.
But downstairs, Wyatt has handed the invisible demon the bear, and
the demon does do some sort of magic to it and hand it back to Wyatt. I know that this goes towards your point, but just hold your horses. Hold your bears.
And he's like, now he's mine. And Leo's like, Wyatt, no, don't touch it.
Yeah, don't take the bear back, because now
Yeah.
you're going to turn evil when you touch the evil bear. Hold your horses!
Yes, Wyatt does take the bear, and then he glows red. And the demon's like, okay, my job's done. Bye.
And then future Wyatt comes downstairs and he's like, Dad, what's going on? And then he morphs into evil Wyatt. The look on the demon's face is like, look,
I said the demon bamfed out, but he didn't.
Well, it's just that he was invisible to Leo, so he wasn't shown to us in the scene.
Yeah.
But he is still there, and
my god, evil Wyatt, the morph into evil Wyatt and evil Wyatt, and oh my god.
Okay, so a couple of things. I'm old, so I feel like I'm gonna sound weird if I use Gen Z slang, but the look on the demon's face can only be described as gooning.
Oh my god.
When he sees evil adult Wyatt. Also, the transformation effect, the morphing effect, is unintentionally hilarious. It is so dumb. I laughed out loud at what is supposed to be a very serious moment.
Again, we try to avoid quoting Alison Pregler's very good Charmed reviews. You should watch them on YouTube. But he looks so much like a member of Nickelback. Like, that dude straight up, evil Wyatt straight up looks like Chad Kroeger.
Oh, I just was thinking about the butterfly effect, the movie, not the actual effect. And the scene where past Ashton Kutcher blows up the mailbox and then he wakes up in present day and he has no limbs. It's supposed to be shocking and maybe even a little bit frightening, but the way it's shot is so incredibly over the top. It is unintentionally ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no other word for it. Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, so, oh my god, that, and the facial hair, the fake facial hair, it's so bad.
It's so bad.
So, the demon blorps out, and you're right, it's a Cheshire Cat thing. His smile remains for a few seconds after he vanishes. His smile and his eyes, which feels weird and extra, but okay.
Okay, oh.
And then Dark Wyatt dorbs out.
Okay, so, I mean, clearly there was no care taken with the writing in this episode, so this just feels like beating a dead horse at this point.
Yes.
But if part of understanding what's going on is that the former children still have good magic powers, they're just using them for evil, shouldn't evil Wyatt still be orbing instead of shimmering?
Oh my god, you're right. And he's dark orbing, which is what dark lighters do. But,
yeah.
But yeah, no, he should still be using his good powers. Yeah, what?
Although, I guess if he's... Okay, because earlier we didn't mention it, but he talks to Paige about how she's the one who trained him up to... Oh, wait, actually, maybe he hasn't done that yet, but he's going to talk to Paige about how she's the one who trained him up to be a white lighter. So maybe he's...
Studying under dark lighters in this new timeline?
Yeah, so maybe he's a dark lighter in this timeline instead of a white lighter, so it's okay.
I mean, I'm assuming that you could probably just learn new ways of teleportation. Like, Cole switched from shimmering when he was Balthazar to flaming out post becoming Super Satan. So
yeah, but that's because he was just stealing everyone's powers. That was just to show how many powers he had, like the episode of Invader Zim where he has all of the organs.
But I think Wyatt probably could do like any kind of teleportation he wants if he wanted to.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure Wyatt is more powerful than Balthazar was.
Oh no, I just mean like I'm sure there are a bunch of demons who just choose which teleportation they want to use, but have access to a bunch of them.
Yeah, you're probably right. Especially since their thing is like stealing powers. Teleportation seems like an easy, like it's such a baseline power that so many people have that you probably got a bunch of them sitting in the back.
Yeah,
probably throw it in free with a telekinesis.
So, evil Wyatt is evilly striding around the evil lair, and he's talking in his pseudo-British accent. I'm finally glad to escape the morrows of good and evil, and why do you live in this cave when you should be ruling the world?
The future of evil is on the surface.
you know who he talks like Jenna Maroney. Like, he talks like Jane Krakowski's character from 30 Rock. I have a slight British inflection because I lost my virginity to the My Fair Lady soundtrack.
Yep.
But, oh my god. Why the facial hair? Why?
Because he's evil!
I mean...
How would you know he was evil if he didn't have a goatee? That's not even a goatee, that's a... What do you call that? When they don't meet? Oh. There's like another word for it.
Yeah. I don't remember.
It's hideous, though.
I mean, you know who he looks like. You remember in the first Charlie's Angels movie when they have to break into that company and Lucy Liu dresses up as the dominatrix HR lady and Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore are her assistants and they're dressed in drag? That is the kind of facial hair he has. The same fake facial hair that Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz were wearing when they were disguised as men. That's what it looks like.
The kind Gwyneth Paltrow had in...
Shakespeare in Love?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyway, he's talking to Vicus and... he's...
Vicus.
So Vicus has made a strategic error here because he was worried that if he didn't get Wyatt's powers, that Wyatt would be a good witch who was opposed to them, and then they would be in danger. But in fact, what he's done is brought a person much, much more powerful than he is into his cult.
Dude.
This is like Cult Leader 101, man.
Yeah, especially if you're a bad guy in Charmed whose whole thing is accumulating minions. Like, remember in the Sandman episode where the guy doesn't kill his minion who fucked up and then the minion kills him? That's why demons are always killing their minions in Charmed.
This really is just a hubris issue, honestly, on Vicus's part.
So back at the manor, Leo's like, okay, so clearly the bear's evil. He did something magic to the bear. Piper has a line, are you telling me that our child is evil again? Which, yes, Piper, they are seriously doing this plot again. And hold on to your butts because they're going to do it at least one more time, possibly two. So Phoebe's like, well, if the bear made him evil, all we need to do is get the bear away from him. And she grabs the bear, and then Wyatt immediately just orbs it right back.
Which brings up another issue.
Yeah?
You telling me that at no point in preschool did someone take something from him that he wanted?
Oh, God, yeah, no. So Wyatt's chewing on the bear, and Leo's like, look, let's just find a way to break the curse on the bear, and then that'll turn future Wyatt back from being evil.
Yep, we'll just go kill Vicus. That's all we have to do.
Yeah, we try to break the curse, we kill the demon, so on and so forth.
Yep, it's basically just a Tuesday.
So Phoebe says Phoebe's scooping up one of the former children that Wyatt murdered. And she's like, luckily we have enough demon ash to scry for, for Vicus. And it's like, well, it's not demon, it's people ash. Those were people that not Chris. Chris doesn't do anything.
Who's Chris?
These are people that Wyatt murdered. These are, brainwashed children that Wyatt murdered.
I mean, like, what would be a cool story is if in murdering those people, that is what turned Wyatt evil. The way that Faith's descent into villainy began with her killing the mayor's aide.
Yeah, her accidentally killing the assistant mayor, deputy mayor.
Yeah, whatever.
Male secretary.
Yeah, I think he was the mayor's aide. I don't think he was the deputy mayor. But yeah, but a person who was a human.
Yeah.
Albeit working with demons.
Yeah, and she did it by accident. Mm-hmm. Like, she thought he was a vampire.
Because they were being attacked by a group of vampires.
Yeah.
And then, of course, not having any support. But, yeah. Anyway, not this much better show, Buffy. Let's talk about Charmed.
Piper's like, I don't get it. If he got cursed to be evil, he doesn't seem evil. And Leo's like, yeah, well, it's magic. And she's like, are you sure it's magic? Are you sure it's just not us being shitty parents? And Leo's like, no, I found in this book, this magic book talks about how cursed objects change children in small increments over a period of time. And
so the bear is like the One Ring.
Yeah. And, well, but Piper follows it up with, he's two, how much can he have changed? And it's like, well, he just got the cursed bear, Piper. Clearly it hasn't had time to infect him with very much evil.
Yeah, Piper's not grasping how this works. Although I guess you and I are arguing about how it works, so maybe it's not her fault. Maybe it's the writer's fault.
Yeah. And Piper's like, look, if it's all because of the stupid bear, then there should be a magical way around it.
Yeah, we'll just uncurse the bear.
Yeah.
Or grab it and throw it into Mount Doom.
Yeah. And Leo's like, yeah, but... And Piper's like, but what? And he's like, well, curses are difficult. And, you know, there's not an easy way to... resolving it isn't just about throwing more magic at the problem. Which I would argue it should be about throwing more magic at the problem.
No. I feel like this is real. I feel like a curse and a hex are different. And that, like, hexes can be undone easily, but curses, like, have a magical component. Like, you need true love's kiss.
I'm just saying, if the bear changes you... If it changes you incrementally over time...
Just grab it and throw it into Mount Doom!
Yeah, just throw it into a volcano. Orbit to space. So, Vicus is like...
We gotta get out of here. The witches are gonna figure out how to scry for our location. And why it's like, wouldn't you rather fight them here than in the manor?
Yeah, in your center of power.
And I'm like, I don't know. Feels like a wash, man.
Yeah. And Wyatt...
When it comes to the Charmed Ones being able to kill people.
Wyatt senses them coming, and it's not said, but I do kind of like to think that this is him using his White Lighter powers.
Oh, yeah.
So, Phoebe and Paige orb into Vicus's lair, and Wyatt's just kind of standing there with his arms behind his back, and they're like, Wyatt, we're here to help you, and he's like, why do you think I need your help? And and they're like, well, because you're not supposed to be evil, and we just need to kill Vicus.
He's like,
who's standing slightly to the side. It's because he's invisible.
He's invisible, so they brought a shitload of vanquishing potions, and they're just throwing them all over the lair, hoping to hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if Vicus was smart, he could just shimmer out of there.
Yeah, and Wyatt's like, aw, you having trouble? Let me help you out, because Vicus is laughing because they're not getting anywhere near him. Even though he's standing right next to Wyatt, they didn't...
Well, he stepped away. He's a good, 3 or 4 feet away.
Yeah, so...
I mean, what I would point out more is not that Vicus is that close to Wyatt, but that they appear to be throwing the potions directly onto the ground.
Yeah.
Like, throw them at things.
So, Wyatt visibilizes Vicus.
He's like, let me help you out there.
Yeah. And Vicus seems surprised by this sudden but inevitable betrayal. And he's like, Wyatt, what are you doing? And Wyatt's like, go ahead, vanquish him. He's right there. They potion him and he very easily explodes. And they're like, so why do you still have that horrible facial hair?
And he says it's because I'm not under a spell. This is what I was talking about.
He still got to me, and this is how evil grows over the years.
Although, I guess, if you killed him when he was... Well, no, because he's going to kidnap Wyatt. Okay, yes. So he's not under a spell. He's been made evil by being exposed to evil. Although, no, you're right. The bear is also a cursed object, and being exposed to the bear makes him evil, like being exposed to the One Ring. I guess I'm going to say it's both. I'm going to say it's both. Or neither, because the writers didn't care.
Yeah, I'm going to say this episode was not well written, and we're thinking about it way more than anyone in the writer's room did.
Anyway, he gets all of the demons from the collective, from the cult, the former children. He summons them and is like, hey, these people just killed your cult leader. And then, okay, he points to Paige. He's like, no orbing Aunt Paige. And then he, sideswipes Phoebe to knock her out. But he didn't do anything, as far as I know, to actually prevent Paige from orbing. Oh! I'm sorry. I only just realized what he did. He knocked Paige so that... He knocked Phoebe away from Paige, so Paige can still orb, but if she does it, she'll leave Phoebe behind. Okay.
Boy,
I get it now.
If only Paige had the ability to orb people she wasn't actively touching. If only this is something we'd seen Paige do a couple of times, but not in a situation like this, where it would be handy. Although, God knows, maybe she does do it, because...
Well, that's right, because it's hilarious.
Well, we cut... As the scene ends, all of the former children are, circling in on Phoebe and Paige.
They descend on them, and it's just like they're being overrun with them.
Yeah, it's like a horde of zombies, approaching. I don't get why so many of them are wearing sunglasses. Like, half of them are wearing sunglasses, and I'm like, okay, either make all of them wear sunglasses or fewer than...
Are they all trying to look like they're from the Matrix?
I don't know. It's weird. And some of them are wearing, like, kind of demon-y outfits, you know, the black leather. Some of them are wearing, like, polo shirts. There's this one guy who's, like, in his 50s. I feel like there needed to be more of a unifying thing. If they were all wearing sunglasses, that would have been fine. It's just... enough of them are wearing them so it's noticeable, but...
Well, I feel like what they were going for is that they are wearing different things. Because the only thing that unifies them is that they were witches who were corrupted by Vicus. Like, there's not a thing that actually unifies them, like power-wise or birth-wise or anything, other than being witches. And...
God, the elders really dropped the ball on this dude.
Right?
I know we've mentioned it so many times, but there are a lot of people here.
Yeah. But the thing is, if that was the case, if that's what they wanted to present to us, then they should have been dressed much more differently.
Yeah. Like, there should have been someone dressed in, like, old-timey clothes and someone dressed, like, in mod fashion.
If I were the costumer for Charmed, that would be the second thing I would do, is, like, give them all different period outfits.
Is the first thing you would do put a different outfit on Phoebe?
The first thing I would do is get Alyssa Milano out of that outfit. Although we're presuming that this is a world where I don't hate Alyssa Milano as much as the costumer here clearly does.
So, Wyatt is playing with some toys. They're in magic school trying to find a way to break the curse.
Oh, they brought him to magic school because it's safer? What a great idea!
Piper's been reading all of these generic anti-curse spells, and just none of them work, which I know, way too late. But I really feel like the Charmed one should be able to out-magic this sort of thing.
Mm.
Like, they are mystical heavy hitters. And Piper has a little speech here about how, you know, they can try to put him on the right path, but at the end of the day, he's going to be his own person, and what if he's destined to be evil, blah, blah, blah. And they was like, well, he's not. There's literally a cursed object involved. Like, we sensed that something was wrong, and we were on top of it. Maybe not on top of it enough, but, you know, and also, hey, you know where's magic? You know what's warded against demons? Maybe if you had been at magic school, this wouldn't have fucking happened, Piper. He doesn't say that, but...
we're saying it.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're good parents. We noticed something was wrong and we tried to address it. And just because we missed it at the time doesn't mean that we can't work to resolve it now, which is good. It is good to acknowledge that you can fuck up and you just need to learn from it. You need to... and try to do better moving forward.
But Leo also says, and this is the other thing, I'm just pointing this out because even though, as you said, the writers didn't care, I care. Because this is where Leo says, it's like Vicus needed something else from him. Not just the bear, but his trust. Mm. That's why I was like, it's not just magic.
Yeah. But I feel like it's something he needed. He needed consent to get the, learn his way in.
Which is so funny because that's so not the normal ethos of Charmed.
Yeah.
That you need to consent in order to be turned to evil.
Yes, that is definitely not normally how being turned evil in Charmed works. But, yeah, no. I mean, I think that, there needed to be trust. But I think once the trust was established, then it's a magic thing. And that's why,
All right.
But, yeah, Wyatt comes in and he's like, I always hated this place.
Is it because your mother hated it and made you think that being mortal would be better?
Yeah. Future Wyatt is here to kidnap himself, to raise himself to be evil. And Piper's like, yeah, no, we're not letting you do that. And he's like, what? Are you going to kill me to protect me? And she's like, yeah.
Honestly, that would work.
Yeah. Like, you won't exist if you're the one who turns future Wyatt evil and we kill you.
Then you'll die. No one will be there to corrupt Wyatt, and then good Wyatt will rematerialize.
Yeah. Except I'm still assuming the bear's a thing, but maybe if they just sat on it for longer.
Well, then they can just throw it into the volcano!
Yeah. But Piper blows up Wyatt, and he's like, he reconstitutes because, he's omnipotent
Wyatt.
God.
Yeah.
And he's like, I thought you didn't believe in spanking. And oh my God, all of his evil dialogue is so terrible.
Yeah. He dorbs away from them over to where baby Wyatt is so that he can kidnap baby Wyatt. But he wants the book first, and Okay, Max,
Oh
he
my God.
can't touch the book
Yeah.
because he's evil.
Which Piper points out. Piper's like, you can't touch the book, you're evil. And he's like, I'm a Halliwell. This book is my legacy. And he tries to touch it and it burns him. Last fucking episode, when Amara took over Phoebe's body, she was evil and she touched the book all over the place. It was a plot point that she kept touching the book because it was how she was faking premonitions.
Ugh.
What the fuck? It's been 2
Nobody
episodes.
cares. Apparently, nobody cares about this stuff. I care.
Yes, Wyatt seems genuinely shocked that he can't touch the book.
Maybe he was watching last week and saw Amara.
Yeah, he reaches out and he dorbs Kid Wyatt over to him, and Piper's like, let go of him, and he's like, don't wait up for me, which doesn't make a ton of sense.
Because he's her child.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just,
although that's really something more you say to, like...
she should have said, where are you going? And then he could have said, out!
Okay, wait. Now we talk about it.
Okay.
We cut back to the manor, and Leo is putting the tiniest bandage on Phoebe's arm. We don't see what's under the bandage, but she and Paige are not injured in any other way. And she just says, we were lucky to get out of there alive.
The first time we watched this episode, I was like, wait, did they not resolve that at all? They did. I missed it because it's a throwaway line.
What the fuck?
Luckily, we got away.
This episode is so poorly written.
So, Paige recaps what literally just happened, that Wyatt was just trying to distract them so he could get away with Wyatt. Piper is trying to scry for them.
I'm so confused. Which Wyatt do you mean?
They talk about how he needs the Book of Shadows and, like, the protections that it has won't last forever. He's very resourceful. He'll break through. Why?
Well, not that he'll break through, but that he'll figure out a way to get it. Which
I don't get why he wants it.
He's a Halliwell. It's his birthright.
Yeah.
Piper scries for where they are and finds them. And Leo's like, but it's a trap. And they're like, well, yeah, but what else are we going to do? We got to go.
And Leo's like, they'll be expecting you, but he won't be expecting me. And Piper's like, Leo, did you forget that you're not an avatar or an elder or anything anymore? You can't out-magic him. And Leo's like...
Okay. Leo comes up with the plan, which is that they're going to go to the trap. The sisters are going to go to the trap. And he's going to guard the book. Because Wyatt wouldn't kill his father.
Yeah.
To which Phoebe says, you ever read Hamlet?
And Leo's like, that was his stepdad.
Who he killed to avenge the murder of his father.
Yeah.
Phoebe, aren't you in college? Have you
Yeah.
ever read Hamlet?
Well, we know she's in college because she's like, well, Freud says, and Piper says, shut up! Which normally we joke about that, but she literally says, woman can it, which is...
Stop talking about Freud!
You know what? Good on Piper. Appreciated.
But yeah, Leo says that, part of the corruption has to do with trust, and since baby Wyatt still trusts him, like, he should be the one that guards the book, and the girls will go to the trap.
He says, look, the curse was started with trust. Like, Wyatt trusted the demon enough to give him the bear, and that's what got the curse started. So Wyatt trusting me enough to give me the bear, because we were trying to take the bear from him from force. The demon couldn't take the bear from him with force. He needed his trust. So if I do the exact same thing the demon does, it'll undo the curse. And Paige is
You said that like it's dumb.
But no,
that's what works.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's fine.
I think it makes sense for the way magic works sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of magic stuff just needs to feel like it makes sense.
It makes as much sense as anything else in this episode. In fact, maybe even a little more.
Yeah. So, Leo puts the book back on the pedestal, and he's just sitting there waiting. And evil Wyatt's like, hey, kid Wyatt, you've only had that evil bear for, like, 5 minutes, so clearly the seeds of evil haven't been planted in you deep enough for it to reject you, so why don't you grab that book and give it to me?
I feel like that book is too big and heavy for that child to pick up.
Yeah. But Leo comes out of the shadows, and he's like, hey, Wyatt, why don't you not do that? And adult Wyatt's like, you don't have powers. How are you going to stop me? You going to take away my car keys? You going to spank me? You going to spank me, Daddy? And Leo's like, let's not do that, okay? We're not doing that. He's like, look, you are my son, and I love you, and I am aware that you're going through this weird, shitty, evil phase, but I know you're a good person, so haha, fuck you, I know you're not going to kill me. And Evil Wyatt's like, I could kill you, I'm super powerful, I'm omnipotent or whatever. And Leo straight up ignores him. He goes over to Kid Wyatt and he's like, hey, Wyatt, you want to give me that bear?
This plot is literally resolved by Leo standing on one side of the attic and Evil Wyatt standing on the other side of the attic, and both of them calling to baby Wyatt and seeing which one he goes to.
Well, Evil Wyatt keeps on being like, I'll kill you if you don't stop. I'm going to kill you. I'll kill you. And Leo's like, yeah, no, you're not going to. I know that you, come on. Seriously. And he points out, he's like, look, I would die for you because I'm your father and I love you and I will do what it takes to make sure that you grow up to be the man that you're supposed to be. And, I am willing to die for this, but because I believe in you, I don't think you're going to kill me. And adult Wyatt starts crying like a giant baby. Mm-hmm. He's blubbering. He's falling on the floor. He's waving his arms around all willy-nilly.
Doing a Kermit flail.
Yeah.
And Leo's like, hey, baby Wyatt, can you give me the teddy bear? And he does, and then the teddy bear does, in fact, glow. You're right, so I guess the curse is removed from it.
Yeah, it glows golden, and the curse is broken, and Wyatt shifts his evil facial hair away.
No, you're right, the curse is broken. Yeah. You can't use magic to undo a curse, you have to break it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, future Wyatt is good again. His mullet jupes back into...
Honestly, the transformation back into good Wyatt is almost as ridiculous as the transformation into evil Wyatt.
His hair reabsorbs the beard back into him.
Yes! Oh.
And he gives Leo a touching father-son hug.
Okay, and now, because nobody has told Phoebe how great she is this episode, we have to go back to college, where the professor comes to talk to her and is like, hey, Phoebe, I read your paper, and now I have to apologize for being mean to you. I didn't realize how amazing you are. You're an amazing writer. This paper on imaginary friends you wrote is the best paper I've ever read. Almost, I gave it an A-.
Yeah.
I remember in Community where minuses are just when the student annoys you?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. She's like, I thought you were a shallow... pop psychologist, but you're actually a deeply insightful...
Pop psychologist.
Yeah. And, I was wrong. I was so wrong about you. And Phoebe's like, okay, well, I have to go say goodbye to my nephew because he's going back to his apartment in the future, and the...
Oh, it's so funny. I feel like you're criticizing Phoebe here. I'm going to criticize the professor. She's like, I have to go home and see my nephew off. And she's like, I thought your nephew was 2. Lady, people can have more than one nephew.
As Phoebe points out, she's like, no, it's a different nephew. Although, I feel like for that to work, you'd have to have, a much older sibling.
She doesn't know how many siblings Phoebe has.
It's true. Or if someone... Well, no, I mean, even if someone got teen pregnant, I mean...
Or maybe it's like a cousin who you were so old when the cousin was born that you kind of sometimes slip and call him nephew, which I do with my younger cousin sometimes.
Yeah, or, there's a lot of things. It's not that weird.
People have families, Professor.
So, Paige orbs back and she's like, guess what? I don't hate New Zealand people anymore. I've resolved that.
She's also got some sort of, charm hanging from her wrist that I think is supposed to be Maori.
Yeah. So...
Whatever, it's fine.
Future Wyatt tells her, I knew that you'd resolved that issue that has been basically entirely off-screen, got mentioned once at the beginning of the episode, and is just coming back now. Because you taught me how to be a white lighter in the future. And Paige is like, neat.
So I'm stuck with this white lighter thing is what you're telling me.
And he shakes Leo's hand, and he's like, thank you for not giving up on me. And then they hug with their hands still between each other. That's weird, but...
Yeah.
And
then Wyatt's like, hey, Aunt Phoebe, before I go, I just want you to know that
Someone will knock you up in the future.
I do have cousins.
He's like, hold on to that imaginary friends paper for my cousin.
Which, number one, is a long way to walk to that.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need the paper to deal with when your kids have imaginary friends. No, most children have imaginary friends, and most people don't need a psych paper to deal with it. But also, he says, for my cousin.
Yeah, it would be...
That would be a real dick move if it was Paige's kids he's talking about.
Yes. Or Prue comes back to life as a kid.
Prue's not coming back to life.
Yeah,
She's
because
Chris.
he's Chris, yeah. So, Piper reads the send my kid back to the future spell. Everyone wistfully watches Wyatt as he blorps back to his time. And Kid Wyatt starts talking because...
Okay, wait, no. Okay, well, okay.
He says, bye, and then he says, fire truck.
Okay, so the fire truck is talking, so that undermines what I was about to say. But the problem was that he was only talking to himself and not other people, and I would point out that when he says goodbye, he's still only talking to himself.
Yes.
But that's just me being a dick.
Okay, so...
We're done!
We are done. Oh my god. It was so bad, and it wasn't fun bad. It was just bad.
Poorly written bad. And it was one of those episodes where the more you talk about it, the more you're like, this is terrible.
There are 2 episodes left after this.
Also, the next episode is also not part of the finale. It really feels like we should have a 2-part finale coming up, but we don't.
Yeah.
The next episode, by the way, is Death Becomes Them. And according to the Peacock description, a classmate killed in front of Phoebe comes back from the dead to blame her. If all of the people who died from Phoebe being dumb came back to blame her, we would have no other plots.
I mean, I actually think that is kind of the plot of this. Necromancer is bringing back people they've lost. Although I think they only get, like, 1 person from a previous episode.
It's, like... As you said, they think that this is their penultimate episode. They're not worrying about, like...
You didn't want to try harder. You thought this was going to be the end of the show. Zanku is built up in the final episode to be, like, the ultimate threat that they've ever faced. And I don't want to give the final season credit, but you know who they actually spend a lot of time building up over the course of the final season?
Billy and Christy?
Billy and Christy. Like, it's dumb. It is a dumb plot, but... They spend a lot of time establishing why Billy and Christy are threats.
Okay, I've got 2 things.
A threat.
I got 2 things.
Yeah.
The first is that, I don't know, this may change when we watch it because I'm not sure I remember it. Mm-hmm. But my memory is that I really do like this finale. And so it is weird that they spend no time setting up for it because I remember liking it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I'm thinking about the first season of Farscape. And when we were watching Farscape, I realized we were like 4 episodes from the end of the first season, the episode Nerve. And they were already setting the runway for the finale. And I'm like, this is so good at setting it up without making me feel like they're spinning their wheels. So I guess what I'm saying is Charm should be more like Farscape.
All right. Much like the Charmed ones, we have our own power of 3. The first power in our pack is Premonition, who in this episode is, was, or will become famous.
Much like Phoebe, I have no premonitions for this episode.
Yeah, the guy who played Vicus looks like a lot of people, but...
I talked about Freud.
Yeah.
Because I actually studied that in my literature classes, Phoebe.
The second power in our pack is Time Freeze. What specifically dates this episode?
The very first sequence when Paige is trying to bind the phones and she has all of the portable phone headsets up in the attic. Like, I feel like some younger kids watching this show now might not even know what that is.
I mean, I mentioned something to our child recently. I don't remember what it was. It was a piece of technology I don't think of being that old, but she had no idea what I was talking, which makes sense.
A couple of days ago when we were in the car, she was asking me what all the different buttons on the dashboard did, and I was telling her which ones were the radio preset buttons, but we don't listen to the radio because I've got Spotify and the Frozen CD that we keep in the CD player. And she was like, I was explaining what a radio was to her, and she was like, it was blowing her mind, and she didn't understand why She couldn't listen to whatever she wanted to listen to on the radio. She's like, oh, can we turn to whatever station is playing Moana? And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. You can turn it on Spotify, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, no, I remember now. I was telling her that when I was a kid, when you were watching TV, you just had to watch whatever was on. You couldn't choose specifically what you wanted to watch. And she's like, that doesn't sound real. No.
Our child is 6, by the way. This isn't like kids these days. It's not like we think Gen Z doesn't know about TVs or radios. Just to clarify, our child is in fact a small child.
Yes. Just to be clear.
Yes. So the phones.
So yeah, phones. The final power in our pack is telekinesis. What genuinely moved you? Okay, not to give Leo credit, but I actually do like the bit where he tells Future Wyatt, where his whole thing with Future Wyatt. Future Wyatt's acting is awful, but I do like Leo's little speech where he's like, yeah, look, I know the kind of person you are, and I don't think you're going to kill me, no matter how evil you think you are. I like that. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was very unearned by the rest of the episode,
right. For me, I'm using kind of a different definition of moved than we usually use in this segment. And the first stuff we start to see with Vicus, where he's talking to Wyatt and he's like, remember, this is a secret, you can't tell your parents, and I'm here for you. Like, when he's grooming Wyatt, it was genuinely skin crawling to watch it. So, well done, writers who didn't bother working on anything else about the plot.
Yeah. And we have one of our secret powers over time. Our powers have grown.
Yeah.
This was a huge episode for astral projection. What was so cringeworthy it made you physically want to leave your body? All the Future Wyatt acting, especially when he does the fake British accent.
Oh, that's so funny, because for me it was so hilariously bad I couldn't even cringe at it. I thought you were going to say molecular combustion, which is what blows up past continuity, which is essentially everything.
Yeah, oh my god.
Ugh.
Okay, that'll about do it for this week.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. Our show is partially listener supported. If you want to be one of those supporters, head over to our website, www.welcometotelevision.net, and click on our Patreon link. I'd like to thank our current $5 and above patrons: Beryl, Patricia, Rosa, Alex, Becca, Carolyn, Cassidy, Daniel, Alicia Hoops, Jen, Javier, Maricruz, and Randall.
If you'd like to support the show in other ways, you could always rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find the show.
If you want to talk about this episode or any episode of any television show, you can find us on Blue Sky at Welcome to TV, or you can email us at ilovetelevisionzines@gmail.com, or you can find us on YouTube.
So until next time, I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And this has been Welcome to Halliwell Manor.